It's the most wonderful time of the year, if you're a sports fan at least. The MAC and ECAC playoffs were in full swing this past weekend. What more could you possibly want? Our beat reporters took rides all across the East Coast to cover the action. Now it's your turn. Put on your seatbelt and get strapped in. Bobcat Breakdown starts right now. The clock on the top right of your computer has hit 9:30, and you know what that means. It's Bobcat Breakdown time. I'm your host, Jonathan Banks, joined by Dylan Fearon and MJ Baird. Guys, you both did a fair amount of traveling this past weekend with Dylan up in Albany and MJ down the road in New Haven. Ready to get after it tonight?
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad to get back to Chartwell's. I mean, the arena food, it's just too many chicken fingers and fries in Albany. Too much.
I didn't have to go very far right down to Yale, but it was definitely a good weekend, so let's get it started.
Let's go, baby.
Good luck.
Good luck, yeah.
Yeah, glad to hear it, guys. Let's get our show started out on the hardwood at the Times Union Center in Albany, New York. The Quinnipiac women's basketball team continued its dominance in the MAC as it cruised into March Madness with its 22nd straight win. Dylan, I want to start with you here, since this question has been a hot topic on Twitter, with you being at the center of the debate, but what else is new there? Was there any doubt of a Bobcat MAC championship here?
Yes. There was a little bit of doubt. I mean, this was a close game for 37 minutes against a team that you'd only beaten by 6 twice, one in double overtime. And who knows what can happen in a conference championship game. Marist was hitting shots early. It was a 2-point game with 3 minutes to go. Yes, Quinnipiac pulled away with a couple of buckets, some big-time buckets, and free throws to win by 9. But it was close for pretty much the entire game. Marist up 1 at halftime, hitting shots early in that first quarter. So, yeah, the touch of doubt. You always figured Quinnipiac would find a way to win with players like Edel Thornton, Carly Fabry, and Jen Fay hitting a couple of three-pointers in that second half to kind of spread things open. You just never saw that Marist run in that third and fourth quarter that made you think the Red Foxes were going to win. But throughout the first 25, 30 minutes, yeah, a little bit of doubt because it's a one-and-done situation. And against a good Marist team with a great coach that has won for a very long time up until the past couple of years, a touch of doubt.
Certainly, first off, hindsight's 20/20, so we could say there was no doubt or there was a little doubt. But in my eyes, there was certainly a little doubt. Like you said, it's March, it's a conference tournament, anything can happen. It's one and done. All it takes is one good game to knock down the #1 seed, and that's all it would have taken for Marist. Of course, it didn't. I would say there's little doubt in my mind. As for the players' minds, I'd say there's definitely no doubt. Maybe a little when they heard in the morning that Jen Fay was suffering through an injury. Was she going to play? She, of course, did end up playing. Maybe a little doubt at that point, missing one of their key figures. But there was no doubt. Was there any doubt that Tom Brady would lose to the Eagles in the playoffs?
Yeah. Don't you think so?
No, there was no doubt when it happened. So I don't think there's any doubt. But I mean, if you look at Quinnipiac, 18-0, perfect regular season, and then they just stormed through the MAC tournament, the first round, the semifinals, and of course, like I said, hindsight's 20/20, but the finals too.
JB saying that I'm the center on all his Twitter stuff. I mean, I said it gave him a 65% chance to win in Albany, and 99% chance to win the first 2 games, which they obviously did. It's just the last game I said that there was a slight chance that they might not win, but they pulled through. Tiny bit of doubt, JB, just a little bit.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that it caused some debate, but you're at the center of debate, and we love that. And we know this Quinnipiac team is going to take it one game at a time. But, I mean, they must have loftier ambitions than that. Fearon, do you think this team has a shot to notch an upset in their first game at the Big Dance?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this team was in the Sweet 16 last year as a 12 seed, beats the 5 at a neutral site, and then beats the 4 Miami on the Hurricanes' home floor. I don't see any reason why they can't win another game this year. They're probably going to be an 11, in my opinion, just the body of work that they've had. Undefeated in conference play, 21-0, 3 wins against the top 50 in RPI, a tough out-of-conference strength of schedule. I think they'll be an 11. I think they have a chance to beat the 6 on a neutral court and then face a 3 seed like an Ohio State and Columbus. Obviously a very hard matchup. So I don't expect a Sweet 16 appearance, but I do almost not expect, but I am not surprised if they beat.
It's pretty close.
I am not surprised if they beat the 6 seed.
It's based on what happened last year. People around here, the general fan, might expect a win, but I'm not sure I'd go as far as expect, because when you're an 11 or 12 seed, no matter what it is, you're still playing a better opponent, at least on paper. I thought it was interesting you bring up the seeds, because if you look at the statistically, wouldn't they at least want that 12 seed? That's the more.
Well, that's what they were saying in Albany after the win. It's like, they had a 12 last year, it worked out for them really well, maybe a 12 this year. But I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't want the 11, because you're facing a lower seed, you're facing a 6 instead of a 5.
statistically,
so the
whatever it is.
bracketologists have them in Columbus
Yeah.
against Ohio State in that second, if they get there.
Or Oregon State first, though.
True.
Yeah.
So they'd be in Columbus, they'd face Ohio State if they won.
Correct.
Oregon State, that's a nice matchup. I mean, a Pac-12 team, I
Didn't win their
chances.
conference tournament
They've
either.
already beaten the Big East team and
Yeah.
then a ACC team last year, so why not add Pac-12
Right.
to the table?
Oregon State does have some great, ranked team wins. UCLA, California, Oregon.
I mean, by no means will they be the favorite.
Correct.
To beat
Correct.
any team, any 6 seed, but
The question is there a shot?
absolutely.
Yes.
No disputing a shot.
Yeah.
No dispute.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about March is that really anything can happen. And two players that will be key for this team to advance are Jen Fay and Erin McClure. Jen Fay took home the award for Player of the Tournament at the MAC Championships. But MJ, do you like this decision? Or should it have been Erin McClure who took the hardware back to Hamden?
I love this decision. I mean, look at the way she played in just the championship game. I get that that's not that all goes into it, but Erin McClure had only 7 points in the first game and only 9 points in the championship game. And yes, she averaged 13 over the course of the tournament with 24 in game 2, but I like the way Jen Fay played. We talked earlier, she was battling injury on the day of the championship game, goes out there, gets work from the trainers pregame, and goes out and plays a phenomenal game. And I think she deserved these honors, 100%.
One, I hate agreeing with you, but I'm going to have to. And two, I thought this was a trick question, John, because clearly Jen Fay was MVP of the tournament.
Yeah.
We just talked about her possibly not being able to play. Doctors work round the clock all day to make sure she plays, and she drops 23-10 in the most important game by far of the season against their best opponent in conference play in Marist. 23-10,
23.
by far the MVP tournament MVP.
19 in the second half.
Right. And they were down 1 at halftime.
Right.
They needed her, obviously, every single point, every single bucket. Whenever it looked like Marist is going to take that leap and go 2 or 3 buckets in a row, Jen Fay helped get a stop. Jen Fay hits a 3. She gets to the rack. She takes a lot of contact, doing all the little things, talking active. And she was like the hype man out there.
Yeah.
Every time a whistle went Quinnipiac's way, yelling, engaged with the teammates, high fives.
That's what you need.
Those things kind of get overlooked sometimes, but in basketball they're huge, and the mental aspect as well. And they always thought they were in it, by far the tournament MVP.
Yeah, average over 15 points for the tournament. I don't think there's anything wrong with her getting that award.
Jen Fay and Erin McClure were both very important, but our own Brian Schwartz was in Albany at the tournament, and he was able to pull another important player, Quinnipiac guard Carly Fabry, away from the celebrations shortly after her team's victory. Let's hear what the senior guard had to say.
Another MAC championship for the Quinnipiac women's basketball team. I'm Brian Schwartz, joined alongside Carly Fabry, the senior point guard of the Quinnipiac Bobcats. Carly, as a senior, what does this mean to you?
It's awesome. I think a lot of hard work was put into this, and I love to win, so going out in this way is just awesome. But we're not done yet. I'm excited to see who we get in the big tournament, and hopefully we'll pick them off.
You talked about in the press conference, you guys rallying around your team after the 2 injuries.
I think it's something that can make or break a team, and I think it really made us, and it forced people to step up and make plays throughout the season. And obviously we had sophomores and Paige and Taylor and Jaden all played really big minutes for us, and even the juniors, Edel and Beamar. I think that everyone stepped up and everyone took more accountability. So, like I said, we all love to win, so we really sat down and worked so much harder throughout that month of December and obviously throughout the entire MAC season.
Take me through walking up, cutting that net down, and you bringing home the whole thing.
It's an indescribable feeling. I think it's always so fun. Obviously, I've done this a couple times before now, so before the Marist game, you don't want your mind to go too much into the first. Like, I just want to get that net, obviously. But it was a hard-fought battle. I think it's always fun playing Marist. I think we're really good rivals. So I think just having that atmosphere. Obviously, we had a big crowd, but going to get that net, there's nothing like it.
And what's next? How far do you guys think you can go?
I think we just take it one game at a time, but hopefully another Sweet 16 appearance. But like I said, we're excited to see who we face in the first round. Hopefully get that first win under our belt.
Congratulations, Carly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Well done as always. Now we are joined at the desk with 2-time MAC champion Edel Thornton. Edel, this is your second time winning the MAC championship. What are some of the similarities and differences between last year's championship team and this year's team that won it all?
Well, some of the similarities, definitely, we went into the championship with a player injured last year. Same thing happened. Adley was hurt before the game started, but we all pulled through together. Our toughness, definitely 100%, is the similarity with every Quinnipiac team, in my opinion. And some differences would be the matchup, of course. Last year, we didn't face Marist, and obviously we know how big they are and they can show up on the big stage. They've won multiple MAC titles. So for us, I think facing them after facing them twice this year and obviously a double overtime win was a huge task for us.
To me, it seemed like every time Maris got a bucket when you're up 4 to make it 2, and then you're up 3 and then they make it 1, you always found a way, whether it was you, Carly, Jen, to knock down a 3 from the corner, especially you, or the wing. Why? How much does experience play into that factor when it's such a tight game, but you seem to find a way, the juniors and the seniors, to knock down those big shots late in the game?
I feel confidence is a big thing. Like, we know the gaps in the offense and we know where to find ourselves and where our teammates find us for open shots. Like, for me, the experience of playing with Paula for 3 years helps because she knows where I'm going to set myself up so she can find me. So the experience playing with each other more so than playing helps.
You spoke of confidence. You obviously get the start in the MAC championship game. You know, what can you say about your confidence of your coach Trish to put you out there to start, and also to you perform under pressure?
I think she knew that no matter when I went into a game that I would go in and give her whatever she needed me to do. I think all the coaches knew that, like, no matter if I start or I come off the bench, I'm going to give you the same energy no matter what. So I think that's the confidence she has in all of our team. Like, of course, like, some people might be affected, but for us, I don't think it affects any of us, whether you come off the bench or you start.
Do you think that gold rush has a lot to do with that too? Next man up mentality?
Yeah, 100%. I think doing the gold rush for as long as we did this season helped everyone be ready. Like, we didn't know who she was going to call when she turned around. So for every other opponent that we play, that's a big deal that they don't know who's going to sub in.
Right.
Interesting, JB.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Adele, for stopping by, and good luck at the NCAA tournament. When we return, find out how far the men's basketball team made it in the playoffs. Also, Ryan Chichester and Josh Silverman caught up with an iconic face in the college basketball world. Keep streaming to find out who it is. We'll be right back.
Hello, and tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired, and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. QCash is accepted.
now that's a sandwich.
This is Sports Pause.
Are you concerned with the 0-2 start for this team? Right here, top of the circle, again, rips it past the Jasper goalie.
What will breaking the record mean for the program himself? I mean, 138 wins.
There's the tough shot. What a nice play by Mikey Dixon.
He's good in transition. Just a really dynamic scorer he can create for himself.
And now, Emma, it's time for the top 5 plays of the week.
Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Hamden. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. The Quinnipiac men's basketball team was picked to finish last in the MAC preseason poll. But first-year coach Baker Dunleavy had other ideas as he guided the Bobcats to a 7th place finish in the conference. The Bobcats rode their momentum to the semifinals of the tournament, but they eventually fell to in-state rival Fairfield. Dylan, you've been with this team all year, so I'll come to you first. Fairfield with the 6 seed, Quinnipiac the 7. The top 3 seeds were all eliminated. Was this game a missed opportunity for the Bobcats?
I don't know. I mean, yes, when you look at it, they're only playing the 6 seed. They'd already beaten the 2. But it's the semifinals, and after the loss, the feel wasn't, oh, that was a missed opportunity. They should have won that game. It was like, heck of a run.
Oh, yeah.
You'd beaten Siena on the Saints' home floor. You had beaten Canisius, the co-regular season champions. You'd played so well. The role players had killed it. Defensively, they had been really sound. And to lose to Fairfield, yes, it was like, man, they were so close to the championship game. But it's not like, oh, what a missed opportunity. They should have won that game. They should have been fighting for the title against Iona. It wasn't like that. That's not what the vibe was after the game. It was just heck of a run. It could have gone either way. Fairfield won a close one. They got a few free throws late to cut it open to 7, but it was close throughout. And I wouldn't call it a missed opportunity because I thought they played solid basketball. Fairfield was just a better team on the given night.
Dylan, I'm going to take this question, missed opportunity, very, very literally. This was, in my eyes, I agree with everything you said in that it was a great run for them to get there, but this was a quote-unquote literal missed opportunity because, granted, like I said to preface, they, in my opinion, shouldn't really have been in this spot anyway to be in the MAC semifinals, but to have a team like Fairfield, your in-state rival, first of all, but you've had 2 very close games with, including a double overtime game on the Stags' home floor, that if there was going to be a MAC semifinal matchup, that's what they wanted it to be. And if there was an opportunity for them to get to the MAC final, it was by beating Fairfield. But like you said, they were lucky to be there. Fantastic run on the season.
Right. I think that's the whole point, though. The fact that they were lucky to be there
Correct.
and it was a great run. I don't see it as a missed opportunity because the teams were kind of even when you match them up, and I just thought Fairfield was better on the day.
That's why I'm saying I'm taking it literally. Like, was this a missed opportunity? Yes.
No.
Yes.
How?
Because that's not, I'm not trying to say they should have won this game.
Right.
I'm just saying if they're...
Well, then any game you don't win is a missed opportunity then.
Okay.
No?
Okay. Here's what I'm trying to say.
Plus, Fairfield has Tyler Nelson, in my opinion, the best player in the league. 2,100-point score. I don't see... It's not... Every game would be a missed opportunity then if you didn't win it to you. No?
Yeah, based on what you just threw at me, yes. That's correct. But what I'm trying to say is more that it's the situation they were in, which we've already prefaced, they were lucky to be there. They couldn't have asked for a better matchup. In that case,
based on your literal sense of
the top 3 teams
missed
were out.
Opportunity. Right. But
guys,
then Canisius is a missed opportunity then.
Guys,
beating Canisius was a missed opportunity?
No, if they had lost to Canisius, it would have been a missed opportunity. No?
No, because, no.
It wasn't, but guys...
But from the literal
You're stretching
sense.
it now. You're stretching it.
Hey guys, they did have a great run in the playoffs, but now let's talk about the regular season, and we've had this talk before. It's been addressed here earlier in the season by Dylan on this show, and in a Sports Pause poll a few weeks back. Some might say this is a ridiculous question, but MJ, I'm going to go to you right here. Was this a successful season in general for the Bobcats?
JB.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm going to be completely honest here.
Be honest with me.
This is a brutal question.
That's why I said it might be ridiculous.
That we have to talk about on Bobcat Breakdown.
I know.
Brutal question.
I'm just reading what's in front of me, MJ.
Anyone who does not think that this team getting to the MAC semifinals, picked last, first-year head coach, lose your top 2 players, arguably top 2 players to transfer last year, have your senior leader, vocal leader, take a leave of absence from the team mid-year. If you don't tell me that's a success, you can come sit right here where Edel Thornton did and say it to our faces, because that is a freezing cold take.
There's not a whole lot else to add to that. I mean,
why do we even have to talk about this?
I was shocked when I saw that this was in the rundown.
Yeah.
But I just think, adding to that, they had lost Mikey Dixon and Peter Kiss.
Yep.
It's a rookie coach. There's so many new faces and pieces to this team. They were the 8 seed last year, 7 seed this year, 10 wins last year, 12 this year, 7 in the league last year, 7 in the league this year. But last year was a 20-game MAC schedule, this year 18. You win 2 games in the MAC tournament. Look, they had not won a MAC tournament game since 2014. They had never won 2 games in a MAC tournament. You have to go way back to find the last time they won 2 games in a conference tournament.
Correct.
So to win 2, you won a true road game. You beat the co-regular season champions. By far success. Anyone that says otherwise really is just dumb and ignorant. And for the Sports Pause poll that said he hadn't exceeded expectations at the time, I thought that was ignorant if you hadn't said he had exceeded it. Now even more so. I would love to see another poll. And
Were they successful?
Because 35% said that he hadn't exceeded. So I'm interested to see now, after 2 wins and competing in the semifinal, what people would say.
I think if people said no, it's just them trying to be annoying and go the other way.
Correct.
Yeah, guys, I agree. And I mean, I have a good relationship with the Sports Pause producer, so I'll send him a message on Twitter and see what we can do about next week. Yeah, definitely. Well, you've heard our experts talk. That's MJ and Dylan. But now let's hear from a different expert. Ryan Chichester and Josh Silverman caught up with ESPN college basketball analyst Jay Billis before the MAC final between Fairfield and Iona. They discussed the impact Baker Dunleavy has had on the Quinnipiac basketball team. Let's take a listen to hear what the former Duke Blue Devil had to say about the rookie head coach.
So Fairfield in the finals, they beat Quinnipiac last night, who made an unexpected tournament run of their own. What do you make of the future of the Bobcats with Baker Dunleavy leading the way?
Well, I think Baker's a superstar, and I got to know him when he was an assistant at Villanova, and obviously I've known his family. His brother Mike played at Duke, and his father played in the NBA for a million years, and he was coaching the NBA. So it's an amazing basketball family, and Baker's right up at the top of that incredible basketball tree. He's got a great way about him. He's incredibly smart. And I think it's just a matter of time. Not only before he'll have Quinnipiac already had him in the semifinals in his first year, but it won't be long before he's one of the household names in the game. He's that good.
Great stuff there from Josh and Ryan, as always. Baker Dunleavy, he's obviously a talented basketball coach. I mean, you can't really argue that. But it can be argued that the former Villanova assistant is using this job as a stepping stone to move up the ranks as a head coach. Dylan, I'm telling you, Baker Dunleavy will call Lender Court home for 3 more seasons. Am I over, am I under, or am I just right?
You're just right, thanks. He'll stay for 3 more years, I think. One, he could leave earlier, I think, potentially, because I think he's going to get to at least one NCAA tournament in the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you take the salary into account. He's making good money, really good money. And he wants a full class, I think, here before he bounces. But if he makes a couple NCAA tournaments, or he gets at least really close, possibly close to even winning a game, who knows, then I think, you know, opportunities will come knocking on his door, and he will have to answer the phone for sure, and the door. But I just think that he's going to make a tournament, you know, sometime very, very soon with the pieces he's got. Look at next year. I mean, they bring back a really solid core. They lose Cam Young, Alan Chiga, and Chase Daniels, but definitely replaceable guys except for Cam Young. You look at the recruiting class they have in. Kevin Morpho comes back from redshirt. Nathan Davis, I hear, is really good. Travis Datson when he's done being hurt. I just think that all the pieces, he's going to be in the tournament very soon, and he's going to leave in 3 years.
So to address your original question, Jonathan, I'm going to say over. I don't think that he will be here for less than that. I mean, even if they were to make back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances, you know, maybe that would be the only case, or if the alma mater comes calling, something like that. But let's move on.
Yeah, that was interesting to see if Jay Wright steps down. That'll be a whole interesting development. But let's cross that bridge when we get there, because that's not happening right now. But what is happening right now is a commercial break. When we come back, we will address the battle of Whitney Ave and dissect the matchup of the weekend. Plus, we have our final roars of the evening. Don't stop streaming.
Bobcat Breakdown, presented by the Quinnipiac Bobcats Sports Network.
We are your source for debate.
Did they make the playoffs last year, Tom Jenkins?
When it clicks, it clicks.
We dissect Quinnipiac athletics on a scale you've never seen before.
With Tobia, it almost looks like she's reaching a little bit.
Plus, we bring in the biggest names surrounding college sports.
We are live here at the Times Union Center with Jay Billis.
And of course, some comedy.
But you can only have so much arena food.
I think you're crazy.
Bobcat Breakdown, Tuesdays at 9:30.
Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. Transitioning from the hardwood to the ice, the men's ice hockey team didn't have the best regular season. That's fairly obvious. They were on the road in the first round of the ECAC playoffs for the first time since the 2005-2006 season, their inaugural year in the conference. The Bobcats traveled down Whitney Avenue to take on rival Yale and prevailed with the 2-game sweep of the Ivy League school. MJ, the team arguably played their best hockey of the season on the weekend. Does this make up for their not-so-good regular season?
Yeah, you're right, JB. I mean, a couple of the players I talked to earlier this week, you know, at Media Day said, yeah, they think they're hitting their stride at the right time, but of course there's certainly much more to go if you're going to go and play the #2 team in the conference this upcoming weekend. But to address your question directly, does this make up for it? Not entirely. Part of me says yes, but...
No! Go ahead. Not even close. Go ahead.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Okay. So part of me says yes because they avenged their loss to Yale, which was the low point of the season.
Great.
Wow. They avenged their loss to Yale because it's the low point of the season. They lost to them for the first time since the national championship in 2013-14. And let me tell you, they were so angry that they lost. Could not be more mad. It was a regular season game against Yale, but that's how much that meant to them. So the fact that they can rebound against them in the playoffs is part of me leans yes. But this one series does not make up for a subpar year.
Do you think 5 or 10 years down the line when the players and the coaches are talking about this season, they'll be, oh, but we beat Yale. We got our revenge against Yale.
No.
So what are you talking about?
Because
it's clear. Hold on. It clearly does not make up for anything during the regular season.
You ask me a question and tell me to hold on.
Because the goal every year, at least for this program, is to not only make the NCAA tournament, but to succeed in the
100%.
NCAA tournament. Excuse me. So right now, there is no chance of an at-large bid to the tournament.
Correct.
They have to win the conference tournament to get the automatic bid to the national tournament.
Correct.
So it doesn't mean anything unless they can win the ACAC tournament. Nothing. Makes up for nothing. The only way you can make up for what was, as John said, a subpar regular season, obviously, is by winning the conference tournament. That's the only way. If they do not win this series against Cornell.
That's not the expectation, though.
The expectation for this program that's been to 2 national championships in the last, 4 or 5 years, is to make the tournament and succeed in the tournament.
Right, but the expectation this year is not to win the conference tournament, not after the year
they have to, though. In order to achieve their goal, they have to do this.
Yes, I'm not saying that they don't have to do that. I'm saying right now the expectation of this team is not that they're going to be ECAC champions. That's just not in the question.
If they lose to Cornell, then the Yale series makes up for the regular season.
No.
Not even close.
Here, guys.
We are agreeing.
No, you said no at first.
I said part of me says yes.
Yeah, and that part's wrong.
Okay.
You guys can debate about this on Twitter after the show, and you both love to talk. So now let's toss it to the matchup of the week, and there's no trick here. It's Quinnipiac Cornell, so we're back on this topic. Cornell is 13-2 at home this season. Quinnipiac will have the task of having to beat them twice at Lina Rink in 3 games. MJ, you're the hockey guy here, so I want to get your input first. How do you see these series unfolding? How do you see the series unfolding? And please, just tell me in a few words.
Cornell in 3.
That's all you got?
That's all I got. They told me to keep it quick. My producer's behind the scenes.
Even though that it doesn't make up for anything in regular season, and I know I've talked about the subpar regular season, I'm taking Quinnipiac in 3 games.
Okay.
Because Cornell's got a freshman goalie. I think
who's the best in the nation, by the way.
It's okay. Freshman hasn't played in a playoff game.
Correct.
It's going to be a rare occasion for him. He hasn't played in a playoff game. And Quinnipiac has Odin Tufto, Chase Prisky, Keith Petrozelli. I like their chances. They're coming off their best hockey, as John said. I like their chances in 3 games.
Great discussion here, guys. And you guys can keep it going afterwards. I'm not doing anything after the show if you want to talk. But hang on, the show is not over just yet. It's now time for our final roars. Each of us will be given roughly 40 seconds to address any sports topic of our choosing. MJ Baird, the floor is yours.
30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except February, which has 28 and sometimes 29. I do not know what it is about the 31 days that make up the 3rd month of the year. Maybe it's because it comes after this weird month that doesn't know how many days are in it. But man, March is a crazy month. Maybe it's the college students that are on spring break or the NCAA basketball that has transformed the month into a theme of madness. But whatever it is, March is exciting. And once again, it will be exciting in Quinnipiac athletics. The men's ice hockey team will look to punch its ticket to Lake Placid this weekend. The women's basketball team will try to repeat its groundbreaking run to the Sweet 16. And of course, the spring sports teams on campus will open their seasons where the weather is warmer and then work their way north. With spring break at Quinnipiac coming next week, this may be the last time we fully talk winter sports on Bobcat Breakdown. But as another spring approaches, all I can say is I am thankful that I get the opportunity to talk sports with the amazing crew that is Q30 Television. Happy March, everybody. Buckle in.
Mac Albany. Another basketball tournament in New York's capital has come and gone. Big surprises on the men's side, not so much on the women's. 5 days with some of Q30's, QBSN's, and the Chronicle's best. I was only sure of one thing during the trip. That lunch would be chicken fingers and fries. I'm having violent flashbacks of the arena food. In all seriousness, though, the Albany trip has always been a fun one, this year especially. Quinnipiac men's basketball shocking the league by winning 2 games, and of course the women putting on their dancing shoes once again. That, plus getting pulled over at 2:30 in the morning, made my final journey to the MAC tournament one to remember. I'll miss it. Whether it was the old crew with John Alba, Maury Hirsch-Gordon, and Andrew Badillo, or the newest team of Sierra Goodwill, Chris Stacy, and Josh Silverman, it's all been a blast. Now it's time for tennis season. Just no more arena food. Please. MJ, please.
Dylan, I'll try my best not to give you any more arena food, so I guess that means we're not going up to Cornell next weekend together. But ends are not bad things. They're just the beginning of something new. Bobcat Breakdown has reached its time tonight, but Q30 and QBSN's coverage of this weekend up in Ithaca is just getting started. So there's a positive right there. Make sure to follow us at Q30 Sports on Twitter and check out our website at Q30TV.com. For Dylan Fearon, MJ Baird, and the entire production staff behind the scenes, I'm Jonathan Banks, signing off from Studio 125. Until next time.